when stuff goes wrong in Rumble Studio, everything dies.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me do an introduction. My brother Charles. My name's Jack. The show is called F as in Frank. The ones I do with my brother Charles are usually different than the ones I do with Jimmy. Jimmy's more about trending topics. Charles and I usually do a single topic. So we've talked about this before. We don't see eye to eye on it exactly, but we're cool. So we thought, you know what? We should probably talk about it publicly because a lot of people are interested in the topic. So, anyway, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. So, I wanted to get you um, to give me your insight because, once again, I don't believe we see eye to eye, but we're pretty close. Okay. Um, so, today we're going to talk about abortion and we're just going to talk about it from more of a scientific, how the world looks at it type of a thing, not so much biblical. Okay.
Well, I
Because
think that you can't, without a doubt, you can't ignore the biblical and you can't ignore the legal, right? So there are two aspects that you cannot ignore because people
true,
bring it into the conversation every time.
true. No, you're right. You're
So,
right. I don't try and get biblical in non-biblical arenas, but sometimes you got to touch it and
well,
a little bit.
this is something where people will bring their religion to bear. They have to. So let me just set the stage a little bit. So the problem with abortion is it's like cloning in a way. Okay, there's nothing in the Bible about cloning, and there's nothing in the Constitution about cloning, right? If like we have to, we're kind of on new ground here, right? Thou shalt not kill. Well, yeah, that goes back with no technology all the way back to just being an animal in the jungle, right? So yeah, that there's stuff for that in our religion. So we can fall back on religion and we can say, oh, in the Bible, blah 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 blah. Okay, so we can say that on things. There's nothing on cloning, and as far as I know, there's nothing on abortion, and there's nothing in the Constitution about either of those things either. Which is why I think the current court overturned, if you will, Roe versus Wade, because it should have never been decided by the courts. I think that's what they were really saying. It was more of an activist court at the time,
Right.
and they shouldn't have. It's not a constitutional or a legal. There's no legal precedent, and it's not a constitutional issue, and that's why they pushed it back down to the states. And they said, "Well, this is a democratic, not Democratic Party, but should be a democratic process by which the people decide." So how do the people decide? So you have two camps, right? The what people who call themselves pro-life, and you have people who call themselves pro-choice. And my perspective on the whole thing is going to be different than I've never heard anyone have this perspective. You know my perspective, and I've never heard
Right.
anyone mention this. So, but before we do, I want to set the context in a place we all agree. Okay?
Right.
So, if you're pro-life or if you're pro-choice, we can all agree on one thing, that after the baby is born, it should not be aborted. Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yep.
So now, if you think about it, we're just arguing about where to draw the line. Okay? That's
That's
it.
that's the interesting part.
Abortion is where do we draw the line? That is it. Nothing more, nothing less. We all agree once the baby's born, there's no one in their right mind saying, oh no, the mother should be able to, before the kid's in kindergarten, decide, nah, I don't want this kid, right? No one would ever say that in a million years, right? No sane person. Of course, we have more and more insane people these days, but basically, I don't think that's a point of contention. So
Right.
what we're really talking about is where's the line. So
Right.
this becomes a scientific issue when you say to me, well, life begins at conception. Really? Well, based on what? Based on what? Well, it's living. They're living cells that if everything works out, will turn into a human being. Okay. That's true. That's a true statement. But to say that human life begins upon conception, there's no evidence for that, right? In fact, there's no evidence of when it happens all the way to birth. Birth, I'll give you that. At the moment that the baby's born, I'll give you that. Yeah, we all recognize that as life. But at what point does it go from just being, sperm in an egg and all the way to going, well, this is a human life. It's clearly a human life. So you're going to go from, here's the way it's going to work. You go from, it's not a human life, to a gray area, to a clear, it is human life.
Right.
Right. It's going to just be obvious on both ends. Now, right now, I've drawn the clear area at birth because I know we can all agree on that. Mm-hmm. But if you look at like beforehand, people like what exactly are people doing? They go to the extremes, right? Pro-lifers are saying instantaneously when the sperm, breaks into the egg, penetrates the egg, boom, that's a human, right there. That's a human. And then the pro-choice people are like, nope, the mom could have a choice 1 millisecond before the baby's born, right? Down to 9 months. Both are extreme. Okay.
Yeah.
So my thought is, okay, let's talk about what it means to be a human. What is a human life? Okay. So here's a problem. People say it's living. Something's living. It's just they're cells. Well, they're just cells on one argument. And then they'd be like, no, it's a life. Okay. So just cells and a life are the same damn thing, right? Cells are alive. But when I scratch my head and I take away some skin cells, I'm not aborting my skin cells. No one thinks about it. Oh, you've aborted some living thing. Yet we argue about abortion in that way. So
they're talking because they always jump on heartbeat. Okay. When the heart's beating, it's alive or not?
Well, look, let me ask you this. If somebody's in a car accident and the doctor says they're brain dead, but their heart doesn't know about it yet, are they alive? I mean, is that a life? Is that actually life? When they when they decide to unplug. So let's talk about all the hypocrisy.
They can't decide. The family.
I'm going to talk about all the hypocrisies before we talk about my perspective.
Okay, but I also just want to throw out there what the other side is saying.
What? Which is what?
Like with the heartbeat. That's a big thing.
Right. No, I know. But that leads me to the hypocrisies, right?
Right.
You have an older person. They were in a car accident. They're in their 30s. They're brain dead. Their brain's never coming back, but their heart is still beating. And you unplug, right? People don't think I'm murdering that person. Clearly they're past birth, but they're brain dead. Their heart's still pumping. So you can't make the art. So this is where the hypocrisies come in, okay? You can't tell me that the heartbeat is enough because we'll unplug someone when they're brain dead. And no one will say, oh, you murdered this person, okay?
Right.
So that's a problem. Another hypocrisy, okay? If you shoot a pregnant woman and she's 3 months pregnant, is it one murder or is it two?
It's two.
Right. But if she aborts it, is it murder at all?
Nope.
There's the hypocrisy in our system.
Right.
Right. We have to, right? There's hypocrisy there. So, and it's all over the place, dude. It's everywhere. Right. Here's another problem. The woman has all the choice, right? The woman can choose.
Right.
She has all the choice. And women will argue. It's bullshit, right? Because, and that's fine. Look, she should have the choice, right? It's her body, right? But I'm going to talk about where that choice ends, honestly, but not yet. But the thing is, the man should also have a choice. Not in that you have to carry it, but if you choose to carry it and I would choose to abort it, then I'm no longer financially responsible. I think people call that financial abortion, right? Men should have the choice to a financial abortion.
Men have no choice.
Right, exactly. So here's the thing about all of this is that we have different laws that take different perspectives on the same subject matter. So here's my suggestion, okay? And like I said, no one I've ever heard talk about it this way, but this is how I think about it. All right. I'm going to go under an operation and they're going to remove one of my kidneys. Okay. And it's going to just be taken out of my body. And because I don't know, it's damaged, whatever, for reasons, and they're going to throw it in the trash bin. Okay. They're going to dispose of it. Okay. Did I kill something living?
No.
It's living cells.
Right.
Totally living.
But,
Totally living. Every cell in there is there's more cells in that than in a baby that's just been conceived. Right? It's something that's been conceived. So if that is living and you take it out, see, we have no problem taking out a kidney, going, oh, you took out a kidney, because it's not a whole human, right? It's not. So what makes a whole human? So that's right. Think about unplugging someone who's brain dead, all of that. What makes a whole human? A whole human, in my definition, would be a human being who can live independent of anyone's body. Okay. Anybody's. So that's why once a baby's born, we all agree, oh, no, it's a human now. Right. And all the debate ends at birth.
Right.
So, but I'm suggesting that it's way, 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 way sooner, but not the millisecond that it's conceived.
Right.
So so here's the question. So remember I said there's going to be this middle gray area. Okay. There's going to be clearly it's not a life. Clearly it is a life, but there's going to be this massive gray area. And the massive gray area is how long can that, or how long does the child have to go before the baby can survive outside of the womb? Then it's independent. Then it's not a dependent. Like my kidney is dependent on me to survive. You take the kidney out of me and you leave it on the shelf, it dies. It can't survive without me, right? I mean, you could try to feed it food and stuff. It's just going to die. It's just not going to work, right? You can give it food, but that's it, right? It's just not going to survive. There is a point where you could deliver the baby and keep it alive, and it can
like
grow to term. Right, preemies. So as technology gets better and better, then I think that line should move sooner and sooner to conception, right? So let's say this: if you pretend we're going to create a society, a brand new society, it's going to be on a desert island, right? So now we're on this island and we want to make rules, and we sit around and we think about what should the rules be. We're not going to think about what the rules were wherever we came from. We want to think about what should the rules be. And when we think about it that way and you say, okay, well, if our society decides we don't want abortion, we won't want anybody aborting the babies, right? We need all the babies we can get for whatever reason, right? We value the lives. We think it's terrible, blah, blah, blah. You have all these reasons. For whatever reason, we decide that. Well, then now we as society are taking on the burden of that child. If we're going to tell you, no, you don't have a choice, you have to deliver it. However, the woman does have control over her body, and she should be able to say, fine, if you don't want me to have it, the baby's 3 months old, we're going to deliver that baby at 3 months. And then society, you guys who are making the rule, telling me what I can and cannot do with my body, you guys are responsible for paying for that child and all of its care, health care, and trying to keep it alive to term and raise the child. Because I'm saying I don't want any of that. Okay? And I'm giving that up to society. And if society is going to pay for all that, then by all means, society can take that on. How important is it to society all of a sudden will be like, oh, well, shit, that's a lot of work.
Okay, where's the point where you say, hey, look, if you're going to sleep together, this is an outcome. This possibly could happen.
Okay, so that's good. I'm glad you brought that up, because notice I didn't talk about the moral aspect of sex.
I get it.
I didn't talk about any of that, because it doesn't matter at that point. At that point, it's over, right? It doesn't matter. Were you married? Were you not married? Were you engaged? Were you, what's a one-night stand? I don't care. I don't care, right? As far as abortion is concerned, I don't care, because I'm looking at it as, okay, the deed is done. From that point, that's when you can abort, okay? So I'm that is a big problem that people have and want to. That's part of the pressure of pro-life because it's
Right.
like, well, women are they just want to be sluts. Yeah, partly, maybe some women, but women get in trouble. They make mistakes. Shit
Wait,
happens.
I love how it's always women. It's not the
Well,
guys.
look, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it's women because women hold all the cards. It's their body. If they want, here's the thing with great power comes great responsibility. Okay. They have great power to produce life. And therefore there's great responsibility. And women have shirked that responsibility since we were kids. They don't take on that responsibility. They're like, oh, they take the pill. Well, there's no responsibility in that, right? And look, we can have sex just like the men. And well, how's that turned out after what? 50 years, 60 years? Hasn't turned out great, honestly. You know, I mean, look at the world we live in today. Didn't work out so great, right? I'm not saying we should go back, but I'm just saying, well, you know, we need to have some of those controls that we used to have. People worrying, there's shame involved. You can be ousted from society. Back in the day, there was a lot of pressure on women to stay virgins, to wait until marriage. Now, granted, people got married when they were like very young, 18, 19 years old. Why? Well, because then they could have sex. Let's be real. Many people got married to have sex, right? So, so I'm not saying to go back to that, but I'm saying we've thrown the baby out with the bathwater on it. There's some things that were valuable. And why is it all on women? Well, because women want all the power. You can't tell me I want all the power and then I want no responsibility. Sorry, you don't get both. You don't get to pick but that. If you want the power, you take the responsibility. And part of the responsibility is women have the ultimate control of saying no. And it's easier for women to say no, right? Women were the gatekeepers and now they're not. And so they could complain and say, oh, I don't want to be the gatekeeper, but wah, wah, wah. Well, okay. I don't want to be responsible. I don't want to be a responsible adult. I mean, how do you argue against that? Okay. So being responsible is the right thing. And what you're telling me and arguing is you don't want to do the right thing. Okay. I mean, I don't really know how to argue against that. It's like, oh no, I don't want to be a good person. I want to be a bad person. How do you argue against that? Right. So I think that I don't look at the moral aspect of it at all.
Right.
I'm looking at more scientifically. Like there's no definition in the Bible as to when life begins. And there's no definition in the Constitution. There's no like we don't even know where to draw the line. So my thought is if you draw the line at what point that entity, whatever you call it, the baby, the fetus, whatever you want to call it, can live independent of the mother's body, right? Even with help from the outside, it's going to need help. We all need help even after birth, right? We're not going to go out and fend for our own food. So if we can do it outside of the mother's body and the mother relinquishes all responsibility and all control for all time, none of this bullshit, 10 years going into court, try to get the baby back. None of that shit, right? If you're willing to do that and society is willing to shoulder the cost because society is telling her, no, this is important to us. Well, if it's important to us, we should pay it. We should pay the bill, right? And then if you can do it let's say you can do it only now at 6 months. I'm just going to pick a number. But 25 years from now, technology is better. And now we can do it at 4 months, whatever the time is. So my thought would be, okay, here's what you do. You deliver the baby, right? The baby, whatever it is, whatever size it happens to be. And then the doctors are going to take on the responsibility of trying to keep that baby alive forever. The taxpayers pay that bill. Okay. They pay that bill to keep that baby alive. Okay. The mother pays a financial price for putting that tax burden on us. She has to have some skin in the game, right? Right. On, but you are causing. I don't want her going out tomorrow and have another one, right? So another abortion. So then if we try and we can't, okay, it wasn't a life. It wasn't a human life. So what I'm doing is I'm saying, if you look at the can't use that word. If you look at the total aspect of a life,
Right.
the very beginning and the very end of a life, if you look at those two parts and you say, at the very end, we have no problem unplugging people from machines, okay, which effectively they will die. If they're brain dead, if they can't control their own body, because we don't see them as alive, we're keeping them alive, but no one looks at that as murder, okay?
Right.
No one. So if we can do that, then we have to say that there must be a line. If your body can survive and operate on its own, then that's a full independent human life. It's independent life. Okay. So that's it. That's the real key for me. When it's independent, your liver and your kidney are dependent on you. Your fetus is dependent on the mother. The minute you can make it independent is when it's now an autonomous human being.
Yeah. Okay. I get where you stand. I stand at the point, if you're going to open your legs, you're going to take responsibility for the outcome. That's all. Nothing happens, great. It's all on you. Something happens, great. It's all on you. It's the same with like.
But you're arguing the morals of sex, not anything about abortion. It has nothing to do with abortion, right? That's the morality of sex. Okay. Well, let's say you're a married couple. Hold on. Let's say you're a married couple, married. Okay. There's no moral issue here now. And you take the pill and you think you're doing everything right. Or even like for Catholics, they go on the symptothermal method, right? So now you have those two things. Okay. And the woman still gets pregnant. You're doing everything right. You're doing the best. You're already married. So all the moralistic bullshit is out of the picture. Okay. What would you say to that couple?
Okay.
We already have 4 kids. I can barely pay the bills for 4 kids. What are you telling me? Is the government, is society going to pay my bills for that 5th child that you're making me raise? Are you going to pay? Are you taxpayer? If you wait a minute. If you want to tell me I have to do something, then you should pay the price for it. Are you willing to do that?
Great. I could probably, there's like thousands of people that can't have children and want children. I wouldn't slaughter a baby.
But she doesn't want to carry it because she knows that if she does carry it, she'll grow fond of it. Hold on, let me finish before you interrupt me. She's going to grow fond of it, and she knows how it's going to be an emotional tragedy for her.
You know what? That's the result of her actions.
She had sex in marriage, dude. What was that? Tell me where she went wrong. What did she do wrong?
They didn't use protection.
She was on the pill, and yet somehow
not a condom.
What? Oh, okay, that's fine. She even did a condom and it broke. Now what? I can always say it fails. What are you going to do when it fails? That's why all that moralistic sex bullshit you have to take out of the equation. You have to look at, it happened. Who cares how? Now what do you do? Now what can you do and what should you do? That's why that has to stay out of the equation when it comes to abortion.
So great. So how would you handle it then?
I just told you.
You would define the line.
I would say, no, I wouldn't define the line. I wouldn't define the line because I don't think we know where the line is. I'd say we try to deliver every baby and we try to keep it all alive. And if it doesn't survive, then it doesn't survive the delivery. That's it. Okay. That's all I would do. This would take it away from mothers who want to go 8 months and change their mind because we know we can deliver that baby.
Right.
Like all this bullshit about pro-choice. 8 months in, fuck you. 8 months in. 8 months in, that's a baby. I don't know where the line is, but I can tell you that's a fucking baby, right?
Okay.
You try to deliver everything. You try to deliver everything and you try to keep it alive. If it doesn't survive, then it wasn't an autonomous life form. If it does survive, then it was autonomous. That simple. Okay. And as technology gets better and better, we'll be able to keep more and more.
No, I understand that. I don't agree with it, but I don't disagree with it. I just understand your viewpoint. I feel differently.
How do you say that? How can you say, I don't agree, but I don't disagree?
No, I know what you're saying. Right. It makes sense what you're saying, but I'd rather, you know what? Give the kid up for adoption. There's 1,000 other things they can do. They can give the kid up for adoption. They can have the child and get support from the government. I mean, we all grew up with support and help. Everybody I know, like, grew up poor. It's not about that. It's like, look, how about you don't do
Don't what? See, you want to
let
go back. You
let's be
constantly are
honest.
arguing
Wait,
to
let's
go
be
back and
honest.
to judge their
90% of
sex.
pregnancies were not on a pill. No condom broke. None of that crap, dude. That stuff happened 1 in a million.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The rules have to apply to everyone. So the one
I
in a million,
understand.
the one, what, you want to tell me 1 in a million? They get to say, oh, well, the condom broke. See, here's a broken condom. You get out of jail free card. You wouldn't agree for that in a minute. It doesn't matter if it's 1 in a million. Whatever rule you come up with has to work for every case.
Okay, what would you do if your wife walked in right now and said she's pregnant? Would you raise the
Well,
child?
first of
Would you
all,
abort it?
she's 65, so I would call the papers.
Okay.
Hello, Guinness
I'd
Book.
hang out with you more
Hello,
often.
Guinness Book or World
You're gonna be
Records.
rich. No, but I mean, okay, let's say you're younger. Okay, she comes in, she's pregnant.
Totally
Would
depends
you
when,
keep it?
dude. It totally depends when. Totally depends when.
Okay,
Plus, I didn't think like this back when I was younger. This took many years of me thinking about the problem before I came up with what I felt was a good scientific solution. Hold on, let me finish before you interrupt me. A good scientific solution that didn't involve the Bible and didn't involve the Constitution. Because I don't want to hear about, there's nothing in the Constitution, so you can't say what's unconstitutional. And there's nothing in the Bible that talks about it. So our traditional fallbacks for being able to argue a position don't exist. So, okay, what do we have? That's all we have.
So, are they not responsible for their actions? Do they not? Can they just?
Yeah. Okay. Look, if
like,
someone's
whether the ripcord and the kid's dead.
Yeah. Look. You're always going to have people who are irresponsible, who act irresponsibly. Always. You've done it. I've done it. We've all been irresponsible. Even as a responsible adult, I've done irresponsible things. Okay. We just have to agree that we're going to make mistakes. People make mistakes. Bad judgment. Now, if you're a repeat offender, that's another story. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's a different level of irresponsibility. Okay. But realize that no one goes into something going, oh, I hope I get pregnant so I can abort it. No one wants that. Right. It's not a happy moment.
No, I get it.
No one celebrates. No one gives you abortion gifts. It's not a happy thing. You have to understand that what you want, okay? What you want is you want a price to pay on promiscuity. That's what you're arguing. That's a different subject. That's not what abortion is. Abortion isn't the thing. It isn't. That's not where you do it, right?
Okay.
Wait, go ahead.
No, I don't have a question. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, we could have a conversation about promiscuity. That's a completely different animal. Abortion may or may not be a result of being promiscuous. It could very well be just a couple, and he got laid off, and he's been laid off for 9 months, and for whatever reason the condom broke, whatever it was, she's now pregnant. They already have 3 kids they can barely afford as it is.
So it's sad that literally keeping a child or not keeping a child is almost always financial based. 100% of the time. Because if you were a multi-billionaire, you would just hire people to help you raise the child.
Yeah.
It would not be an issue.
That is totally
he or she would have all the food she wanted, everything. But because of finances.
Well, look, because of finances, women work. Now, some women would work even if they were independently wealthy. Probably a very small percentage. Men are the same way. Very few men would work if they were wealthy. They'd do other things, right? So yeah, everything about life is about resources and providing, right? So yeah, that's life. That's part of life.
By the way, Tammy laughed when I told her that you said I'll bet you $1,000,000 Tammy won't work for a woman, doesn't like working for a lady. And she laughed because she doesn't.
That's
She's
hilarious.
like, no. No,
I
they're
knew. I already knew.
horrible.
I just knew that just the type of person she is. I just knew.
Too funny. She's rather work for a dude because
Dude, what that was last week's or last time's
I know.
conversation.
I
You're
just thought that was funny.
all right.
But anyway, all right. So we see a little different, but I appreciate you explaining.
Yeah, I just think that if we were to say the differences is that you are looking at promiscuity, you have the promiscuity lens of abortion, and I don't. I don't want to judge. I want to say, okay, this person got pregnant, or this woman got pregnant because who cares, right? Now we have to deal with this situation. It doesn't matter how. You can put blame, you can do whatever, all shame or whatever you want to put. But now you have a problem to deal with. What do you do next? Right? What do you do next?
You go hop into another bed.
Look, no, let me. Well, yeah, but that's serial. That's serial promiscuity. Okay, that's different. Okay, you could also the problem I have with your perspective is that it doesn't cover everybody. It doesn't cover everybody.
I know. Somebody out there is going, well, what if she's raped? I know it. Somebody's
no, but that's a valid.
I know.
Possibility.
I don't have an answer for that.
Right. But that tells me that your solution is not a good one because it doesn't cover all the bases. What my solution would cover everything. Okay. And it wouldn't judge anyone.
If the mother would die from delivering. Some women have been like, the doctor's like, look, you're not going to make it delivering.
No, that's not a thing anymore, dude. They just would cut her open and take it out. Like she's going to bleed out if they have to get the baby out some point.
I don't watch many pregnancies, dude.
Okay. I'm just telling you, that's not a thing anymore. Yeah. A woman can die in childbirth, but you're in a hospital. They can take care of all that stuff. In fact, when Liz delivered, she bled out more than she should have. And the doctor's like, well, that's why you give birth in a hospital. Because if you're doing this at home, she may have bled out before she got to the hospital. So, I mean, that can happen. So
I didn't know that. I never knew that.
You never knew that? Oh, I thought I told you. Anyway, it wasn't a big deal because they had the medicines there. They knew what to do, and it was over in a minute. That's what I mean.
And they had blood on hand if she needed more.
She didn't need it. She didn't bleed out that much. He was just saying, had we not been here, caught it, and known what to do and stopped it right away, she could have bled a lot more. And by the time you realize, oh shit, I'm still bleeding, right? You may have lost a lot of blood, and then by the time you get to the hospital, it's too late. So my point is that I don't think that's an issue. I think it doesn't matter. The baby's in you. You got to get it out. My solution is deliver it, try to keep it alive. If you can keep it alive at any point, you deliver it. If you can keep it alive, great. It's an independent human living being. If you couldn't keep it alive, well, then I guess it wasn't. Okay. The other thing is, like I said, as technology goes, so will the line. The line will move and we'll be able to keep more and more alive. And that's great. And look, if you go back to ancient cultures, dude, they knew what plant to chew on. Women knew what plant to chew on to cause an abortion. So it's not like this is a new thing.
No, I'm sure you're right. Anyway, I appreciate you talking about it. I know it's not a normal topic that two dudes sit around the table chatting about.
I'm sure there's some woman somewhere going, wait, what do men know about any of this subject? Okay. It doesn't matter. It's still a part of society. Men were involved in you getting pregnant. So don't think you just did it on your own. So it's not like once the sperm enters the egg, boom, it's all her. It's all on her and everything. She doesn't want the responsibility.
Okay, one last question.
Of having to raise that child by herself either.
One last question. Yeah. One last question. If the man wants to keep it, if the man goes, I'll sign responsibility for the child.
Yeah, I have no problem with
everything.
Yeah.
I'll pay all the bills.
Great, deliver it.
I want to be the dad.
She's like, no, I don't want it.
Right.
Then here's what you'd have to say. Could you give it a better chance? to where we can deliver it at 6 months, 7 months, something down the road. And she's like, no, I don't want it. It's my body and I don't want it in my body. Well, okay. No, I'm serious. I don't want it in my body. Okay. So it's only 3 months, let's say, and the man wants the baby. Then what I would say is, okay, we try to deliver it. We do our best to keep it alive. If it's not viable, it's not viable. What he's asking her is use of her body. He could certainly offer to pay, right? Surrogates do it all the time.
You're saying she has the right to still abort?
100%. It's her body. It's her body, dude. I totally think that's her body.
You don't think it became their body once the two of them got together?
No, it's still her body. Just because you had sex with a woman doesn't mean you can take over her body. What the hell?
No,
dude?
I know that. I know. I've been hearing it's my body. I can do whatever I want.
I mean, you have the same. You have that. Look, would you want a woman to choose whether you can have an operation or not just because she had sex with you? No, you don't. You don't. And if the man wanted to force her to have the abortion and she wanted to keep the baby, should he be able to do that? No, it is her body. Okay.
So you also agree that if the man doesn't want the child,
he should get a financial abortion, 100%.
Yes.
He goes, now I'm keeping it. Okay, great. Well, then I'm going to sign some papers and proclaim.
It's still a messy topic, dude.
No, it's not messy. That's not messy. I'm saying I'm on an island. I get to create my own society. These are the rules that I would create.
Right. No, I get it. But the way it is today, it's still
it's all messed up. It's all
messed up.
Because the people are emotional about and not logical about it. That's mostly it.
All right. So, yeah, we agree to disagree. We have other thoughts on it, but
I don't even know what your position is, honestly.
Well, my position is don't do it.
Yeah, but that's like saying oh, okay, well, what should happen after a car accident? Who should pay for the accident? Da 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 da. And you're like, well, my position is don't get in a car accident. Really? That's your position? We still have to deal with car accidents.
Wait, if I'm drinking and I get in a car accident?
I didn't say drinking. Don't give me a straw man. Do not make a straw man.
What's the difference between drinking, crash, sex, baby?
I'm not talking about drinking.
It's the end result of your action.
You still have car accidents without drinking, Jack.
Okay.
So you're saying to me, your argument in this scenario is like a car accident. You're saying, okay, an accident happens and I say, well, what should we do? Who should be responsible? Who should pay? Blah, blah, blah. And we have a big conversation and I give you my position. And you go, well, my position is don't have an accident. That's your position. That's not a position.
Listen, had they not had intercourse, there'd be no.
Had they not gotten in their car that day and driven.
Forget the car crash. I'm saying.
No, it's the same fucking thing. It's the same fucking thing.
No.
It's totally the same. No. It's completely the same, dude. It's the same thing.
No.
Right. Oh, no. Don't have sex. Okay, that's it. Don't have sex and don't drive cars. Okay, got it. I know your position.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If I poison water, the water supply, and it's going to go kill people who drink the water, okay, and they drink it and die, and I get caught, okay, did I commit murder?
What?
Would you say it? I'm asking you, do I?
What does that have to do with it? What does that have to do with car crashes or abortions, dude? What is that?
I'm trying to bring another example of how
the same.
Your actions lead to something else.
Right. But once the
results.
Once the water supply is poisoned, right? Okay, let's say.
Right.
I'll take it. Right? Water supply is poisoned. We meet to figure out what we're going to do. And your position in this meeting is, well, just don't poison the water supply. And we're like, it doesn't matter, dude. It's already done. It already happened. Well, what should we do? Just don't do it. Don't poison the water supply. Well, that's the dumbest position you could take. That makes no sense.
So I got to ask you a question. If people die from that?
It doesn't, dude, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. I'm talking about your position. We're talking about your position. Stop changing to another subject. I'm talking about your position. Your position is, well, just don't do the thing. But the thing has already been done. It's already been done. The car's already crashed. The woman's already pregnant. The water supply is already poisoned. And when we say, what do we do in the situation we find ourselves in?
Oh, that's great. It's already done. Then why would you ask me what to do?
It's already done. You can't give me, what should we do after it's already done? That's what abortion is. What do you do after the woman's already pregnant? What do you do after the cars have already crashed into each other? What do you do when the water supply is already poisoned? You can't tell me my position is don't have sex, don't drive cars, and don't poison the water supply. It's too late. We have a problem that we have to solve. We got to start where the problem
the
is.
the source, the original problem, not the symptoms.
It's not a no. It's not a symptom. It's not a symptom. It's not. That's not the problem. The problem is she's pregnant and she doesn't want the child. The problem is the cars are already smashed up and people are hurt. Okay. The problem is there's poison in the water supply and people could die. This is the problem that you're facing. Okay. Yes, you could say, how do we prevent it in the future? What are ways in which we can reduce that from happening? How do we keep people from being injured? We put airbags in and we put seatbelts, but people are going to get injured in cars. It's just the nature of the beast. Okay. People are going to get pregnant when they don't want to be pregnant. That's just the nature of sex. Okay. Forget the water supply thing. I don't see that that is just terrorism. We're not talking terrorism here, right? So, or murder or whatever you want to call it. I think the car crash and the pregnancy are much better analogies to one another.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't like the killing of babies that could be somebody. Shouldn't they have like civil rights or something?
Okay. We give civil rights to dogs. No, we don't. We don't give civil rights to plants.
That's an animal. That's not a human.
Hold on. Right. But then the question is, when is it a human being? Is it a human being when there's an egg in a woman and a sperm in a man? We all agree, no. Right? We all agree. There's another line we can all agree on, right?
Right.
When the eggs in the woman and the sperm's in the man, ain't a human. Now we're arguing about the line. It's what I said earlier. You're arguing the line from the other direction now.
Right. So obviously, I mean, we can go back and forth. I don't want to do that.
Dude, it's all about where do you draw the line? I keep going back to that. We all agree that when the egg's in the woman and the sperm's in the man, that we don't have a human. Okay. And we all agree when the baby comes out of the mother that there is a human. We can all agree, everyone can agree to those two things. All we're trying to do is figure out where the line is, right? Where are these, where is it? That's it.
All right.
So you have to come up with, you have to tell me where the line is. And when you say, oh, it's during conception, well then based on what is what I would say. Based on what?
So if women pass your line, okay, let's say the baby could be a preemie. Okay. 6 months, whatever, 7,
whatever,
8, whatever the line is.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, wait. No. It's whatever technology can.
Right.
Yes.
I don't know where that line is, but
I don't either. Honestly.
But let's say they pass that line and then they have an abortion. To you, is that wrong?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
what I'm saying. I think it's once you define the line, human on one side, not human on the other, then it's okay over here and not okay over here. We just are arguing over the line. An abortion after birth, everyone agrees is murder, right?
Okay.
It's just we're arguing about where do we draw the line. That's it.
All right.
That's it.
I understand. It's funny because Jim thinks like you do, but his line.
Which Jim? Our brother Jim?
Our brother, yeah.
Okay.
Our brother thinks like you do, but his line is nowhere near you.
I don't think he does.
His line is nowhere near. No, he does. I've already talked to him about it. His line is nowhere near yours. His thinking is not logical.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm trying to be logical. I'm saying how do we deal with things that are like this now? If you take out a kidney, no one looks at that as murdering a life, even though all the cells are living and they're all human cells, right? So same with the fetus. They're all human cells and they're all living, right? So we don't have a problem. Why? Because the kidney can't survive outside of the host. Well, I just say, well, let's do the same thing with the baby. It's the minute the baby can survive outside the host, boom, it's independent. Now it's a human, right? Before that, it's literally, technically a parasite, okay? And I know that has a negative connotation. But I know that's a negative.
There is no line according to the world. There is no line.
No, because people of pro-life and pro-choice have moved to the extremes. They can't go any more extreme than they've gone. Okay. Why? Because everybody's very emotional about this. I totally understand. But if if the mother doesn't want the baby
All
in
right.
her, she should
I
have
get
the
it.
right to say, I don't want the baby in me. Okay. And if you, as society, standing outside of her body, say, no, 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 that's a baby in you, and that baby could survive and be a person, but then all means you as society should take on the responsibility of having to try to keep that baby alive and then supporting that baby. If you're going to tell her that she needs to do all that stuff and that she can't just abort it, okay? If she can't just
What if
kill it
she
at that point,
refuses to get cut on? Okay, what if the government goes, yeah, we'll take care of it.
right?
We'll take
Okay.
it out of you. She
Okay.
goes, no, it's my body.
What do you
You
mean?
can't
No, it's
even
my body. You want it gone.
wait.
You want it gone. We're going to, you go to the doctor, he'll remove it and it'll be
Oh,
gone.
you mean vacuum it out like they normally do?
No, not vacuum it out, dude. You deliver it. You can prematurely deliver. We have drugs that will make the baby be delivered. That's what they used to do, by the way. The women in the olden days, they would
Ew.
just like chew on some bark or some leaf or something like that, and it would cause the body to
Labor.
go through labor and stuff. Yeah, we have
I
those
didn't know that.
drugs. Yeah, we can induce, dude. We induce
I
all the
I
time.
know that. I know that.
Yes.
You can
So
be
we just
induced.
induce labor. We just induce labor. If the baby survives that process, right?
Right.
Then it is a baby, right? Then it's
Right.
it's an independent life. And if we can keep it alive, right? If we can keep it alive. So I think there's a responsibility on society as well as the member of society, the woman and man.
Man, what a messed up topic category.
Well, yeah, and wait till you talk about cloning. Cloning's even harder. Because like I don't see why anyone has a problem with cloning. Cloning is literally creating life. Cloning is another thing that makes no sense. Why we would make it illegal.
Wait, and I know the abortion people against abortion are also against cloning. I'm like, make up your mind, which one is it?
That's the thing. People have these hypocrisies in their own thinking. You murder a pregnant woman, and we as a society say, oh, that's 2 murders. Maybe she was driving to an abortion clinic. Was it really 2 murders?
Yeah. Well, one was an abortion and one was a murder.
Right. So all he did was add 1 murder to the murder rolls.
All right.
Right.
All right. I don't want to beat a dead horse.
No, it's not a dead horse. It's not a dead horse. These are things that people should be thinking about.
Trust me, it's a bottle of glue by now. So anyway,
comments.
It's just a weird topic for us. That's all.
Yeah. Comments.
Oh, you want to go to the chat real quick?
Might as well.
Let's see. Hey, Wim, what's going on here, buddy? Let's see here. If you see anything, go ahead and read it out.
Oh, I'm not looking. I'll let you
look.
Look.
Let's see.
I'm on the donations page. This way, no activity is on that page. So,
it's funny that people like this Martin guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about him. I'm not going to answer his question or his comment, but can't figure out which guy is more insufferable. He's literally by choice sitting here listening. The dude could turn off his computer, and he's sitting here complaining about both of us.
Whatever, dude. Move on. Who cares? Move on.
I know.
What the fuck?
But logically, why would you?
It doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter. Just move on.
Hey, Martin, what's going on? Let me see. I don't see anything.
All right, that's cool. We can be done.
Yeah. So anyway,
so next week we're going to talk about cloning. No, we're not. But I would love to see cloning or hear more about it, though, in real life, not with you. But okay, thanks.
No, we'll come up with a new topic. Totally new topic. All right, so thanks for giving us your explanation.
Yep, no worries, dude. Bye.
Take care.